Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A partiality that prevents objective consideration of an issue or situation. A line or cut across a fabric that is not at right angles to a side of the fabric. Cause to be biased. Influence in an unfair way. You are biasing my choice by telling me yours. Slanting diagonally across the grain of a fabric. A bias fold. An opinion formed beforehand without adequate evidence. He did not even try to confirm his preconceptions. A partiality that prevents objective consideration of an issue or situation. A partiality that prevents objective consideration of an issue or situation. Influence somebody's opinion in advance. Disadvantage by prejudice. A line or cut across a fabric that is not at right angles to a side of the fabric. Having an oblique or slanted direction. A punctuation mark, used to separate related items of information. An oblique line of squares of the same color on a checkerboard. The bishop moves on the diagonals. Connecting two non-adjacent corners of a plane figure or any two corners of a solid that are not in the same face. A diagonal line across the page. Geometry. A straight line connecting any two vertices of a polygon that are not adjacent. Mathematics. A set of entries in a square matrix running diagonally either from the upper left to lower right entry or running from the upper right to lower left entry. Cause to be biased. Determine beforehand. Any grammatical case other than the nominative. Indirect in departing from the accepted or proper way, misleading. Gave oblique answers to direct questions. A diagonally arranged abdominal muscle on either side of the torso. Slanting or inclined in direction or course or position, neither parallel nor perpendicular nor right angled. The oblique rays of the winter sun. An inclination to favor one group or view or opinion over alternatives. An inclination to favor one group or view or opinion over alternatives. A predisposition to like something. A line traced by a point traveling in a constant direction, a line of zero curvature. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Influence somebody's opinion in advance. Cause to be preoccupied. The idea of his failure prepossesses him. Make a positive impression on someone beforehand. A prepossessing appearance. Possess beforehand. Prejudice against Muslims. Discriminatory or abusive behavior towards members of another race. The prejudice that members of one race are intrinsically superior to members of other races. A prejudice, especially in Polynesia and other South Pacific islands, that prohibits the use or mention of something because of its sacred nature. An inhibition or ban resulting from social custom or emotional aversion. Excluded from use or mention. A taboo subject. Forbidden to profane use, especially in South Pacific islands. Declare as sacred and forbidden. A prejudice, especially in Polynesia and other South Pacific islands, that prohibits the use or mention of something because of its sacred nature. An inhibition or ban resulting from social custom or emotional aversion. Excluded from use or mention. Forbidden to profane use, especially in South Pacific Islands. An intentional and controversial bias. Psychology. Bias introduced by an experimenter whose expectations about the outcome of the experiment can be subtly communicated to the participants in the experiment. Prejudice against, fear or dislike of, homosexual people and homosexuality. Extreme prejudice. A biased way of looking at or presenting something. Heel over. The ceiling is slanting. Present with a bias. To incline or bend from a vertical position. Degree of deviation from a horizontal plane. Lie obliquely. A scar slanted across his face. A system of units used to express the weight of something. The relative importance granted to something. His opinion carries great weight. Sports equipment used in calisthenic exercises and weightlifting. It is not attached to anything and is raised and lowered by use of the hands and arms. Statistics. A coefficient assigned to elements of a frequency distribution in order to represent their relative importance. Weight down with a load. Present with a bias. A unit used to measure weight. He placed 2 weights in the scale pan. An artifact that is heavy. An oppressive feeling of heavy force. Bowed down by the weight of responsibility. The vertical force exerted by a mass as a result of gravity. A biased way of looking at or presenting something. Seek indirectly. Present with a bias. To incline or bend from a vertical position. A member of a Germanic people who conquered England and merged with the Saxons and Jutes to become Anglo-Saxons. Fish with a hook. Move or proceed at an angle. He angled his way into the room. The space between 2 lines or planes that intersect. The inclination of one line to another, measured in degrees or radians. The condition of being unable to perform as a consequence of physical or mental unfitness. Put at a disadvantage. Something immaterial that interferes with or delays action or progress. Injure permanently. Advantage given to a competitor to equalize chances of winning. Attempt to forecast the winner, especially in a horse race, and assign odds for or against a contestant.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.